Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the story of Bopoluchi, a Punjabi folk literature retold by A.K. Ramanujan. This is a folk literature which is very popular in Punjab because it tells how women should be very strong. Here we find that once upon a time, many young girls they come to the village to get water, and while they are gathering water, they keep talking about what are the ideas about the betrothals and weddings. And the first one says that my uncle will come and he'll bring a lot of bridal presents and he'll bring the finest clothes for me. And the second girl says, my uncle-in-law is coming and if definitely he'll bring nice, delicious sweetmeats. And then the third one says, my uncle will be here now. No time he'll be here and definitely he'll bring me the rarest jewels in the world. Among them, we find Bopoluchi, who is the prettiest girl among all. But she was looking very sad because she is an orphan and she has no relatives, and therefore there is no one to arrange her marriage. But at the same time, she wants to keep up a self respect. So, very happily, she says that my uncle also will be coming and he will bring me fine dresses, fine food, and fine jewels. That is everything combined together. Now, it so happened that there was a wandering peddler who sells sweet scents and cosmetics to country women. He is sitting near that well and he hears what Bopoluchi is saying. And he turns and he looks at her and he is struck by her beauty and he decides that he has to marry her. So, the very next day, he comes as though he is a very rich farmer and he comes to Bopoluchi's house with trays full of fine dresses, fine food, and fine jewels. Now we come to know that he is not a real peddler, but he is actually a wicked robber who is very rich because he has stolen so many things. Now, seeing all this, Bopoluchi couldn't believe her own eyes because just the previous day she has told all this and it has really happened. And the robber tells her that he is her father's brother and he had been all around the world for years, and now he has come here to arrange her marriage with one of his sons, that is Bopoluchi's cousin. Hearing this, Bopoluchi believed everything and she was so happy that she packed whatever she had in a bundle and went off along with him. And as they were going, there was a crow sitting on the branch, and the crow croaked, saying, Bopoluchi, be careful, what happened to your intelligence? He is not your uncle, he is a robber who is cheating you. Now, hearing this, Bopoluchi asks him, Uncle, what is the crow saying? And the robber says, see, all the crows in this country will croak like that only, just keep coming. And as they are walking, they meet a peacock. The peacock also looks at her and he screams. He says, Bopoluchi, how sad, have you lost your intelligence? He is not your uncle, he is a robber and he is cheating you. And immediately Bopoluchi asks the thief, what is the peacock screaming? And for this also he says, see, all the peacocks will scream like this only in this country, keep continuing. And then they come across a jackal in the road. And this jackal also saw this poor beautiful Bopoluchi and it howled and said, how sad, have you lost your intelligence? He is not your uncle, he is a robber and is cheating you. Again she asks her, that the jackal is howling, what is it saying? Now the robber says, all the jackals will howl like that only in this country, keep walking. So poor pretty Bopoluchi continued the journey till they came to the robber's house. After coming to the house, the robber told her that actually he only intended to marry her. And hearing this, Bopoluchi started crying, but the robber had no mercy on her and he left her in charge of a very old mother. And he told her, that is to his old mother, make all the arrangements. I will go and arrange for the marriage feast and come. You get her ready. I will come back and I will get married to her. So the old woman started dressing up Bopoluchi. And Bopoluchi had such beautiful hair that actually reached down her ankles. And this old woman had no hair in the head. Actually, her head was bald. So, seeing her hair, the old woman cried out, Daughter, how did you get such beautiful long hair? This time, Bopoluchi used her intelligence and she said, My mother made it grow by pounding my head in the big mortar which we use for husking the rice. And for every stroke of the pestle, my hair grew longer and longer and longer. And she says that this will never fail, it will work out for everyone. Immediately the old woman was very eager and she asked, oh, then even I can make my hair grow like that? And Bopoluchi says, yes, definitely. So the old woman put her head in the mortar and Bopoluchi pounded that head, that is the old lady's head, till she died. Then Bopoluchi dressed the dead body with the bridal scarlet dress and made her to sit in the bridal chair and put the wheel all over the face so that no one can see the face, and she put the spinning wheel in front of it so that if the robber comes home he will think that it was she, that is Bopoluchi, completely dressed as a bride and sitting there. And then she took this old mother's clothes and she also took her own bundle. She wore the old woman's clothes and she stepped out of the house quickly and she started running towards the house. On her way, she saw the robber coming. And actually, this robber was coming, returning after stealing the millstone because he wanted to grind the corn for his wedding feast and he was carrying this millstone on his head. She got scared and she immediately hid behind the hedge so that he will not see her. But the robber also saw her, but since she was dressed in an old lady's dress, he did not recognize her and he thought it must be some other stranger woman from the neighboring village. And in order to get avoided, he also slipped behind the other hedge. This helped Bopoluchi to come home safely. She ran and she came back to her home. Now the robber went to his house and he saw the old mother sitting in the bridal scarlet in the bridal chair spinning, and of course he thought it was Bopoluchi. And he was carrying the millstone on his head, so he called her out and he said, come and help me to get this down. But she didn't answer. He called again and she didn't answer. This made him very angry and he threw the millstone at her head. Immediately this old mother fell down, and it was not Bopoluchi but his old mother. And this robber thought that he only had killed her by throwing the millstone on her head and he started crying. But when he discovered that Bopoluchi had run away, he became so angry that he decided he will definitely bring back her and he will get married to her. Now Bopoluchi also knew that this robber will definitely come back because he knows her house, he knows that she has no other place to go. So she comes back here. And this robber will come only in the night because in daytime if he comes means he'll get caught by the other villagers. So each night she begged one of her friends to give permission to stay in their house, and she left her house empty every night and she was staying in one friend's house each day. And they also didn't ask anything. They said, okay, come. But now a month went and she had literally stayed in all her friends' house. And she was feeling delicate to go and ask her friends again to stay in the house for a second time. And not only that, she also decided that she has to face whatever consequences happens. So she decided to be brave and sleep at her own home, and whatever happens, she will face it. So she took a bill hook. Bill hook is a kitchen utensil which women use to cut vegetables. And she kept that bill hook in the bed along with her. And as she expected, that night 4 men came quietly to her room and they caught hold of each leg in the bed and they lifted the bed and they started walking. Actually, these 4 men, one was the robber himself, the other 3 were the men whom he had employed to carry her income. Bopoluchi was actually wide awake, but she pretended as though she was sleeping, and she waited till they came to a place where no one was there. And when the thieves were not in their guard, she took out the bill hook and in a second she cut the heads of 2 thieves at the foot of the bed. And turning round quickly, she cut the other thief's head also. But the robber somehow escaped and he ran. Now he was terribly frightened and he ran like a wild cat and climbed up a tree which was close by. She also came there and she asked him to come down. She said, come down and fight me. But the robber would not come down. So what happened is, Bopoluchi gathered all the sticks which were around there and she piled around the tree and she set fire to the tree. The tree started burning, and the robber, who saw that he will be definitely burnt, jumped from there, but he fell into the fire and he got killed. After that, Bopoluchi went to the robber's house, and there was so much of gold and silver and jewels and clothes. She took everything and she came back to her village. Now she was so very rich that she could marry anyone she pleased. And that is the end of Bopoluchi's adventures. And this is a very famous Punjabi folk literature. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends. And if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.